What the penguins, polar plants, and the edge of the world have in common. They all come together on today's episode because we are heading south, way south. I'm Maria, co-founder of Across South America, and today I'm joined by a very special guest from Oceanwide Expeditions, one of the world's leading experts in polar travel. Thank you for joining today, and it's so nice to have this conversation about Antarctica. Why don't you start by introducing yourself?
Okay, Maria, thank you for this opportunity. I'm Maria Pilar Fernandez. I'm the International Sales Manager of Oceanwide Expeditions, which is a Dutch company. As a company, we've been doing Antarctica for more than 30 years. We get to 30 years last December, so we have a lot of experience, and we only offer polar expeditions, Arctic and the Antarctica. I've been working with them for 12, almost 13 years already. I'm a Chilean. I live in Santiago. I'm based in Chile. I used to work for another company. So at the end, I have more than 20 years of experience offering Antarctica. Antarctica is part of Chile. And it doesn't really work that way because Antarctica is a continent itself. So it's not part of any country. It's only because we are very near. So people related us with Antarctica.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so you are Chilean, I'm Argentinian, and we are well connected with Antarctica because we are the closest countries to access Antarctica, right?
Especially to peninsula. Mm-hmm. Because that Antarctica is a kind of round continent, the peninsula, which is a sharp point, and that part is very close to Argentina. In our case, for example, our vessels departure from Ushuaia in Argentina. So all the passengers has to fly through Buenos Aires to Ushuaia, and from there we go in and out, crossing the Drake, getting to the peninsula, which is the closest part where we go in Antarctica.
Yeah. And the expeditions that we can find with Oceanwide, with your company, Pilar, they all depart from Ushuaia, Argentina.
Yes. Usually what we recommend is that passenger, if it is your first time in Latin America, especially in Buenos Aires, they have to stop at least a couple of days or 3 days in Buenos Aires to enjoy the city, enjoy Buenos Aires, the tango night, everything. And then fly from Buenos Aires to Ushuaia, which is a 3.5-hour flight. Usually it's directed. Sometimes they stop in Calafate. Otherwise, you can fly directly to Ushuaia. And we recommend passengers to get to Ushuaia the night before of departure. Mm-hmm. And from there, we depart to Peninsula. We offer different type of programs. The shortest one is 10 days. And the longest one, which is a new one, is 27 nights, 28 days in Antarctica.
Wow. Yeah. That's all in Antarctica. And departing from and returning to Ushuaia? Or
Ushuaia, yes, in and out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Usually we cross the Drake or on those departure going to Falklands, Malvinas, South Georgia, and the Peninsula. We depart from Ushuaia, go to Malvinas, South Georgia, and come back through the Drake to Ushuaia.
Yeah. So there are different itineraries, different highlights, depending on what people dream of when they think of Antarctica, right? Because some people have this idea, they want to see the penguins. Some others are more into the experience of walking and touching. And so what kind of experiences would a traveler find with Oceanwide? And it's different with your company because it's not the same like being in a 3,000 people ship. How can we experience Antarctica? What can we expect?
Well, Antarctica is a fascinating destination. As we were talking previously to this interview, for us it's not very easy to pass on what you feel once you get there because it's very impressive. It's very pristine. is remote, and you feel it remote, even though all the companies going to Antarctica go to the same places. Because we need to apply for those places as soon as my ship, for example, go to Port Lockroy or any place at the peninsula, there is no other company going there. So passengers actually feel remote and isolated, which is the idea of being in Antarctica. And the idea is to enjoy the silence, for example. Now, we have different type of trips. And as I mentioned, the shortest one is 10 days or 12 days at the peninsula. And then we have the other ones, including the island, like South Georgia, South Orkney, or Malvinas. So it depends. Usually passengers says, okay, what do you recommend going to Antarctica? How many days do you have? Or what you wanted to see? Because if everybody says, okay, I have a lot of time, I can go any time of the season. Our season starts at the beginning of November until the end of March, which is spring and summertime here in the south. If they say, okay, I'm free at any time, you can ask, what do you want to see? Because if they wanted to see some specific penguins, we have different type of programs, including those penguins. But on the other hand, we have very active passengers. You know that Antarctica, the average age of the passengers worldwide is above 70. But because we create a very special program, which is called the Base Camp program, that includes activities like kayaking, camping, snowshoeing, mountaineering, etc., we are getting more younger people, younger like the boomers, between 50 to 70, 75. And now we get something like 10% of passengers between 25 to 35. And they go to the peninsula like everybody else, but the difference is that we include those activities on the price. And also everything that they need for the activities is on board. So they do not need to bring their own sleeping bag or the wetsuit for the kayak, for example. Everything is on board. And that is something different that we do from the other companies.
Yeah, you just need to have the spirit.
Yes, you just want to do it and have the time and the money. But at the same time, it's not more expensive than any other company. The only difference is that we create this program 15 years ago, and it's working pretty well. At the beginning, it was 1 or 2 departures. Now, all the vessels, we have 3 different vessels operating in Antarctica. All of them offer the base camp because it has been a success. People wanted to go there. They just wanted to enjoy the landscape and everything, which is amazing in Antarctica. But at the same time, doing kayaking, for example, or spending the night outside as an open sky camping is once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah, it's a once in a lifetime experience for sure. That's the luxury of a trip like this. It's like you are in this remote area with...
Yeah. We don't talk about luxury, even though our vessels are very comfortable. And the new one, the Hondius, which is the largest one, has suite with balcony. We consider that luxury is the places where we go. That is a luxury.
What
the
happens?
Time and money to go to Antarctica and enjoy. That is luxury, actually.
These days, everywhere you go, it's full of people. Everyone is traveling. Everything is crowded. There's no way you can be in a place and have it for yourself. So when we talk about luxury in Antarctica, we might be talking about this, right? The access to these places.
Not only the access to the different places, but being alone there, because our vessels has only a capacity for 100 passengers. The largest one is for 170, which is still small if you compare with the big ship, as you mentioned before. And that is luxury. Being there for a couple of hours, you can sit down and just enjoy. Everything is white. Everything is pristine. You have to consider that nobody has stepped on any other places because what the IATO, which is the association, allow us is to bring 100 passengers at the same time in one place, but not everywhere else. It's the most pure place in the world, actually. Yeah. And
Definitely.
you feel it.
And you can feel it. This base camp experience that you've created for more active travelers,
Mhm.
do you need to be like fit, like
No,
someone
no.
with experience? Is this something that you might say, oh, I want to go to Antarctica and I want to live this experience, but I've never done anything like this, or I'm not a camping person, or is this for anyone?
We plan it for everyone
Mm,
because most of our passengers are coming from a city. So as
yeah,
long as you can walk, you can go with us to Antarctica.
yeah,
And in the case of the base camp specifically, you have the option of doing all these activities, but it's not compulsory. So if you decided to go, for example, on hiking, it can be soft hiking or more extreme because we have very active passengers, but at the same time, we have some others which, for example, they just wanted to take pictures. So we give a workshop, a photo workshop on board, and then they go on land with one of my guides and they stay in one place because they wanted to take pictures.
the thought of doing this in Antarctica, it's a bit intimidating. So what can you tell us about?
You don't need to feel intimidated because we as a company and especially on board, we train our guides and that they need to keep in mind that passengers are on holidays. This is not a school. So if you wanted to do the hiking, you are going to do it. If not, you are going to walk around with another guy. If you wanted to take pictures, there's going to be some guide with you because every 15 passengers, we need to have a guide on land. So you cannot be by yourself. It's not compulsory to be all together, but at
Yeah,
the same time, you have to be one of my guides,
yeah,
especially because they talk about the different penguins and the history. There is a lot of history in Antarctica, especially the places where we go. But if you're very active, you can choose to do the mountaineering or go on the hiking to the top of the mountains. If you're more quiet or just fit as a city guy, you can enjoy the same time as the same times, and you don't need to be fit for that. Spending the night outside, I think it is quite an experience because it's an open sky camping.
that sounds amazing.
Maybe not for everybody, but at the same time, it's once in your lifetime. So, because people say, no, it's freezing. First of all, it's not freezing because it's summertime in Antarctica, and we are talking about maybe to get 5 above zero. It's like going skiing.
Yeah, or
It's
even
like
warmer
well,
because
even warmer than skiing, and we recommend people to dress up with layers
Mhm.
and jacket, and that's it. And spending the night outside is something like you do between midnight until 5 o'clock in the morning. And remember that in Antarctica there is almost no night, so you can see that it turns something like a dark pink or purple, which is beautiful. It's going to be once in your lifetime. We usually recommend people to do it that. But at the same time, we have more quiet passengers. And for
Yeah,
those quiet passengers, they go on land as well, but they walk with the guy and they listen about the explanation, and we can offer them to do soft walking, and they are
mhm.
going to enjoy as well. So it's not extreme. As long as you walk, you can do it.
Yeah, and it's quite flexible
Yes, of
how you
course, all the
create
time.
your own
Yeah.
experience, right? Because
Yes.
we craft itineraries and everything is customized and personalized. So once including an expedition to Antarctica,
Mhm.
we can still keep this in mind. Like,
Yeah, you can offer the base camp, or you can offer the regular one, which is
mhm,
also 12 days visiting the peninsula. And for those passengers who wanted to do something special, like going to South Georgia, for example, because they wanted to see the king penguins, this is a 20-day itinerary. Departing from Ushuaia, Malvinas, South Georgia, and the peninsula. And that is special for passengers who demand you to see the king penguins. King penguins, large colonies, are based at the South Georgia. They are not based at the peninsula. You are not going to see a king penguin in Antarctica. It's very rarely seen there. So if somebody asks specific, okay, I want to go there and see the king penguin, you have to include the South Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the main reason. Not because it wanted to offer them the largest one. It's because, and you have to explain that, okay, they are not going to see that kind of penguin at the peninsula. At the peninsula, it's easy to see the Gentoo, which is a small one, very funny also, and chin strap, and sometimes the Adelie. King penguins are seen at the South Georgia, and the top of the penguins, which is the emperor, is at the peninsula, but is on the other side of the peninsula. And we have 3 special departures every season going to that side, which is the Weddell Sea. And we are looking for the emperor penguin, which are the largest one.
And that's the one you
The
access
biggest one.
with
Yeah.
the helicopter.
Yeah.
Right?
And yes, we carry 2 helicopters on board, 2 or 3. It depends how many people they can afford. And people can fly all the time. It depends on weather conditions, weather and security conditions, but we don't charge for the overflights. So if it is sunny or if the weather conditions are okay, passengers can fly almost every day. And what we do is that we use the helicopters to carry people from the ship to Snow Hill Island. The emperor penguins are based, and from there they walk to meet the penguins. We cannot overfly the rockery because of the environmental impact. So we leave passengers something like 800 meters, or maybe 1 kilometer far, and they walk to meet the emperor penguins. And you know that the emperors are the biggest one. Usually we go to Snow Hill Island in November, which is the beginning of the season, because as a different from the other penguins, the emperors, they live in Antarctica and they breed during the winter time. So going to November, which is the springtime, you can see the chimps already, the chimps born already. All the other penguins, you know that they swim all the way and they come back to Antarctica for breeding. So they start nesting in November, and the chimps born at the end of December or January. That is the main difference with the other ones.
So basically what you're saying, Pilar, is that not only we have to go to Antarctica, but this is a destination that we could eventually come back.
Yeah, of course. We have a lot of repeated passengers. That is the main reason that now we created the largest trip, which is 27 nights, 28 days between February and March. And this is Shackleton Road. And because there is a lot of passengers that go to Antarctica on the shortest one, and then they say, you know, now I need to include the islands. And then they go on the 20 days, and, you know, now I need to go following Shackleton Trace.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is the longest one.
Yeah. So the longest one, you can kind of combine everything all together, sort of.
What we do is that we depart from Ushuaia and go straight to South Georgia to visit Shackleton grave. Remember that he died in the UK, but he asked to be buried in South Georgia. And from there, we go all the way down to the Weddell Sea. So we cross the polar circle once, we get deep down to the Weddell Sea, and then we come back on the other side. We are talking about the Snow Hill Island, or which is the eastern part of the peninsula, and where the Endurance, for example, which is Shackleton's ship, was found in 2022. And we continue until we get to Elephant Island, the place from where Shackleton was rescued at the end. So we do other trace.
Oh, wow. That's the one I want to take.
No, that is amazing. And we carry them to helicopters. So what we try to do on that one is, it's not that they are going to be sailing 28 days. We try to put passengers on land every day, twice a day. And if there is no place where they can walk, for example, we offer them all together to go on a zodiac sailing. Plus that, they can do the flights, depending on weather conditions, they can do the overflights.
That sounds like a dream trip.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And Pilar, I don't want to finalize this interview without asking, because this is like a typical question that people who haven't been to Antarctica and this kind of expedition, they usually, one of the first questions is about the drag passage and how difficult that is. And what's your experience with this crossing? And
we don't offer flying over the Drake. Our vessels cross the Drake Passage all the time during the season. So we have a lot of experience because we have 3 vessels and they do between 12 to 14 departures. So it means that we cross it every time during the season. What we recommend is, first of all, you have to tell everybody that the Drake Passage can be rough. So passengers are going to be prepared for that. We have a doctor on board. We have some pills to avoid the seasick. But if you are thinking that you are going to be seasick, take the pill as soon as you get on board, before even thinking if it is rough or not. If it's sunny, it can be smooth. It's a very interesting crossing. It's 48 hours sailing where you can see all the albatross, the Antarctica seagull. There is a lot of birds flying along the ship, so it's nice. But if it is rough, it's better to be prepared for that, but it's part of the adventure. If you are prepared and you know, you're not going to suffer.
Yeah.
Don't think that, oh my God, the Drake is a terrible. It's not like that. Okay. For example, the past season, it was very good almost all the time. Only the last departure had a kind of rough crossing. Yes.
Yeah. And is it both ways?
Yes, it can be rough on the way down. My experience, it was on the way down, but on the way back, it was sunny, or it can be sunny all the time. And if it is sunny, you don't know that you're crossing the Drake, actually. It's like sailing like anywhere else. And if it's rough, if it's bumpy, remember that because people sometimes they get afraid of, that the movies are not very in favor of us. It's like, oh my God, it's terrible. It's not going to be terrible. The ship is going to sail the waves up and then down and then up. And what we do is that we recommend passengers to stay in their cabins if they are feeling seasick. But we have a lot of passengers which are not feeling seasick and they're very active. So the ship offers the meals every day. We have a lecture on board. Even they can go up to the Captain Bridge to see even the waves, for example, take pictures or something like this. The only thing that changes is that the meal tend to be more dry. It means that we offer sandwich because you know that you have to eat dry things like crackers, pizza, sandwich, and that helps a lot for the seasick, to prevent the seasick.
To be ready.
That is the only thing that changes on board. Everything else is the same.
It's worse the effort of crossing.
And they tell you that even if it's going to be rough, it's worthy because as soon as you get there, which is usually very early in the morning, as soon as you get there and you see that landscape, the silence, everything is so large. It's overwhelming, actually. Antarctica is very impressive. I keep saying that after you go to Antarctica, you had to go to the moon.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, it's hard to continue, like, go where, right? Yeah.
Moon, the next one.
You need to take a break and reassess and say, okay, the moon, why not? Thank you, Pilar. It's been amazing. Thanks for sharing this adventurous expedition. I love all the specific adventures we have on board with Oceanwide. It really sets the experience apart. We know each other for a long time. We are colleagues, the travel industry, and over all these years, because you've been working and offering this amazing experience in Antarctica for such a long time. Do you have any funny story or something that you think, okay, this is something I would love to share?
Well, according to my experience and everybody else in the company, actually, is like, first of all, I think that passengers do not know what they are going to expect because as soon as they get there, they get silence. even the more friendly or the more, because you know that it's a small ship, it's only 100 passengers. So usually you talk with everybody and everybody is very excited about this, blah, 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 blah. But as soon as I get there, it's like, oh my God, if I don't know, if you believe in God or something special, this is a place to go. And everybody which has been on board with me is really impressive. And they get silence and they say, okay, it's difficult to pass on what you feel as soon as you get. At the same time, penguins are very funny. You know that there is a lot of rules that you have to follow. Being in Antarctica is like you cannot touch the penguins, but they can touch you. So, and as soon as
So
you
cute.
still, they come. They're very curious because, lucky for them, we don't eat penguins. So we are not dangerous, and they
Yeah.
are very curious, and they come closer, and they try to pick your pants.
We are in
Yeah.
their
And
territory.
yes, and they look at you and then they continue like, thank you, because they're funny. Really, they're very, very funny animals. Yeah. You
Yeah.
feel like a stranger.
Like a stranger.
Because
Yeah.
it's the same with the whales. The whales come closer to the ship and they show the tails all the time and they keep playing. And passengers, for example, say, okay, you hire them because it's amazing. They come very close and they do their own show for the passengers on board. And it's like, okay, this is part of the company. No,
Part
no,
of the
no.
show.
You hire all of them. Oceanwide hire all the
They
way.
are part of the staff.
It's really nice. The place
So
is.
now we want to go for sure. We want to be there.
You have to go
I'm
once in your
coming.
life.
I don't know when, but since we are talking about this, and we are in mid of the year, right?
Yes.
The year is going by, but the departures start in November, and the last ship is going in March, right? Are we still okay to book for this coming season, or?
Yeah. You know that in the past, because according to my experience, let me tell you something like 15 years ago or maybe 10 years ago, before pandemic, you had to book in advance at least 1 year because
Yeah.
everybody was planning about that. And usually people were a little bit more senior people. After pandemia, we are getting more active passengers, younger one, because they decided, okay, maybe I'm not going to survive. So they change their mind and they say, I'm not going to wait until I'm too old to
Yeah.
go to Antarctica. So
Yes.
people start asking about bookings, I don't know, 6 months in advance, or maybe, 6 months, or maybe even 4 months in advance. We still have some availability. It depends the kind of program. Base camp usually are very sold out. It's the same with the helicopters. You have to plan in advance if you wanted to see the emperor. But the regular ones, or the ones including Malvinas and South Georgia, even the one that cross the polar circle, which are at the end of the season in March, are more open for bookings. So you can try for this season or maybe for the next one, because we have prices until 27 already.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, but definitely we've seen a change of mindset when planning trips. It's like, okay, what about going to Antarctica? Yeah, okay, let's do it, right?
Yeah.
Now
Maybe
is the
tomorrow.
moment.
It's like, no. Yeah. Let's go to Antarctica. They are thinking about Antarctica in January. Let's go to Antarctica in February. It's like, okay, well.
Yeah, no, I mean, but at least let's say if 6 months in advance, which before the pandemic, it's like you were saying, that was like, oh, that's last minute, 6 months. We used to plan for 1 or 2 years ahead.
Yeah, because Antarctica was part of the bucket list, and now it's not part of the bucket list. People don't put it on the bucket. They do it.
Yeah.
Book and they go.
Yeah.
Don't leave it on the bucket. It's like, okay, when I get older, I'm going to go to Antarctica. No, they go now. They try to go now.
There is no more bucket list.
Yes, no more.
Forget about the bucket list.
No, they try to go now.
Do it. Yeah.
Do it. Yeah. And I highly recommend to do that, actually. Don't
Yeah.
wait. You are too old or it's like, okay, once I've been everywhere, go to Antarctica. No, it's an amazing place. It's very recommendable. It's not because I work for the company. It is because I've been lucky. I've been almost everywhere. I've been traveling my whole life. And I can tell you that Antarctica is one of the most impressive places that I have been. The landscape, the animals, the silence, everything is huge. Everything is remote.
It's beautiful. And you put it in the bucket list for when you're old. Well, you can go again because you can do something different.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. We
Good
keep
news.
creating new programs. Yeah. We have the classic Antarctica, of course. We keep creating new programs and lucky for us, the new programs has been a success.
Well, I love how you speak so passionate about it. And I'm definitely joining one of the expeditions soon. I will let you know, Pilar.
You should go because it's
Yeah.
very different. Once you get there, you are going to understand. That is, I can show you a lot of pictures and I can
Oh,
send you
that's not enough.
videos, but it's not the same. You
No,
have to experience it. You
yeah.
have to go there. Yeah.
No, everything about it, the silence, I don't know, this overwhelming sensation of being in such a remote place and sleeping outside on the open sky, that's a dream.
You feel very small.
So
Yeah.
you definitely feel small.
Yeah, you feel very small because it's animal territory. So the whales do whatever they want, the penguins do whatever they want, the seals do whatever they want, all the birds are coming to the ship or they do whatever they want. So you feel like intimidated
Yeah,
in a positive way
yeah,
because they are not afraid of the human beings. So you really enjoy their company.
yeah. Real nature, wild.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
that's Antarctica.
That's fantastic.
That's Antarctica.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Pilar, thank you so much. I appreciate your time and sharing all this with me and with everyone who is listening on the other side. Thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to share to finalize this interview?
Thank you for the opportunity for giving the window to talk about what we offer. And I highly recommend to go to Antarctica. It's a very special place. It's something that you have to experience once in your lifetime.
A real authentic experience, and that's what our travelers enjoy.
Yeah.
Not just about the nature and the beautiful what you will see and the penguins and everything, but also about the people you meet on the way, which is something you can only get in a small expedition.
As a European company, as a Dutch company, 60% of our passengers are coming from Europe. So we have on board, usually we have speaking Spanish, Italian, French, Dutch, English, German. Yeah, that is the main reason that our expedition staff is coming from everywhere. Even though the official language is English on board, there is always an option for a second language assistance, for example. And also people coming from everywhere is very interesting. It's a kind of melting pot on board. So you can meet somebody, I don't know, a couple coming from India or somebody coming from Israel, but at the same time coming from the United States or Canada, a couple of people coming from Latin America, Mexico, I don't know, from Argentina. That is part of the adventure, being all together. It's a kind of surprise for the passengers. Usually we offer a barbecue and everybody at the end is like dancing all together and we can get very good friends. Yeah.
You can't ask for more, right?
Well,
Then you
very
can
relaxed
make friends.
atmosphere, very friendly atmosphere, very
Yeah.
professional at the same time, but we are very relaxed. It's like, okay, people come here, come on board to enjoy. And we are proud to show everybody what we do, to share with them our experience. Our guides have been working with the company for 20, 25 years, even 30 years. So we have a lot of experience on board. Our idea is to make feel special to everybody because for you, it's going to be your first time. We keep that in mind.
No, it's a perfect combination. And that's also the reason why we work together, Pilar, because when we receive feedback from our customers, they all talk a lot about the people they meet on the way and the guides and everyone who is involved in the planning and during the experience, and that it's this relaxed atmosphere, friendly, but always professional and looking after that everything works well, that everything is safe, but not forgetting that this is a lifetime experience and that we want to experience and have fun, but also make friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And also, as I tell you, to keep our guys, keep in mind that for you, it's going to be the first time. Even though they go 12 times.
Yeah.
We keep moving them from one ship to the other. So they experience different ships, different times. But for them, it's like, okay, here we go again. Okay. You don't feel that like, oh, here we go again. It's not, because this is brand new. So we make you feel that it's going to be your first time and you're going to enjoy it. Okay. I have a lot of experience, but it's your trip and it's your experience. And you're going to feel it like, okay, if you're impressed, everybody else is going to be impressed with you, even our guides.
Yeah.
That's the idea, not to make it monotonous.
Yeah.
Every trip is a new one. Every trip is a new experience. Yeah. Everybody has a different experience. Even going all together, you're going to feel something different from somebody else. And that is something that we respect.
For these guides, they are the hosts, and you definitely need to love what you do to keep it fresh every single time.
They love what they do. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, it would be lovely to have one of the guides in this interview. Okay, Pilar, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have this interview with you and to see you virtually. And I'm hoping to see you in person soon, whenever the world brings us together.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria, for the opportunity. I'm happy to share about the company and my experience, and anything that you need, you or any of your customers, just let me know. And I hope to see you soon on board in Antarctica.
Yeah. And I will,
soon in some other places, but try to get on board.
And I will do this interview from Antarctica. What do you say?
Of course. Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, with the penguins and everything.
We can go together and say, okay, ask me the now. With the whales.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yes, of course. Come on board.
Okay, thank you for the invitation and your time, Pilar. It's been wonderful. Okay, and we'll be talking soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
For the invitation. Bye-bye.
If you loved this episode, you can subscribe to the podcast and share it with a fellow traveler or, why not, an entrepreneur. You can find us at across-southamerica.com and on Instagram at across-South-America. And if you're dreaming of your own handcrafted journey, reach out. We'd love to help. Gracias and see you soon. Nos vemos pronto, and let's keep the stories going.